On July 12th, the Prime Ministers of India and Pakistan reached what was termed as an icebreaker pact on Russian territory. What followed a month later was betrayal at the borders in Punjab and Kashmir. But 48 hours ahead of the NSA level talks, Islamabad issued an invite to separatists.
कल हम दिल्ली जा रहे हैं, परसों हमारी मीटिंग है रिसेप्शन में, तो हमारा जो स्टैंड बड़ा क्लियर है, कोई वीक नहीं है. हम चाहते हैं कि कश्मीर को राइट ऑफ सेल्फ डिटरमिनेशन दिया जाए.
In a rerun of August last year, Pakistan's move to appease separatists has once again thrown the slated talks in jeopardy.
A day after the Pakistan Foreign Office insisted that Sartaj Aziz's meeting with the Hurriyat leaders must be allowed, the Indian Ministry of External Affairs clearly rejected it.
As New Delhi prepared its damning dossier to clinch Pakistan, it spelt out its message to those across the border loud and clear.
The Pakistani High Commissioner invited Hurriyat representatives to consult with the visiting NSA. Unilateral imposition of new conditions and distortion of the agreed agenda cannot be the basis for going forward.
Over in the Pakistan capital, Nawaz Sharif went into a huddle after India's strongly worded warning, standing its ground and saying that they will meet the Hurriyat leaders at any cost. The NSA talks also exposed fissures between the uneasy Valley partners, with the PDP making it clear that it would not restrain separatists.
एक बार जम्मू कश्मीर में रहने वाले लोग खासकर बहुत दुखी हो जाएंगे और इसको नए सिरे से फिर तलाश करना है.
The looming cloud over bilateral dialogue armed the opposition with ammunition over Modi's foreign policy.
This kind of incoherence, inconsistency, lack of focus is an insult to India's grand democracy, makes a mockery of our premier status globally.
30 days of diplomatic mind games, posturing and doublespeak by the powers in Islamabad has cast a shadow over progress between the two countries. Have the ties between India and Pakistan reached a point of no return? With Kaswar Klasra in Islamabad, Smita Sharma in Delhi and Shujaul Haq in Srinagar. Bureau Report, India Today.
The big breaking story tonight, images of Dawood Ibrahim being put out in the public domain by the Indian government tomorrow morning. Joining us for more on this big suspense. Will he, won't he? Will Sartaj Aziz land in India? Will anything emerge even if he does? Joining me, Sudhanshu Trivedi, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. With us also on this broadcast is General Athar Abbas, former spokesperson of the BJP. General Abbas, the big story tonight is that Dawood Ibrahim's images are likely to be released by the Indian government tomorrow. Now, no one has seen what Dawood looks like since that image of him in a cricket box at the Sharjah Stadium. What impact do you think this will have? Dawood Ibrahim photographed on Pakistani soil, evidence released by India a day before Sartaj Aziz is supposed to land. General Abbas, do you hear me? Give me a moment to fix that. Sudhanshu Trivedi, there's this huge drama that's taking place about whether Sartaj Aziz will land in India or not. Give our viewers a sense of the expectations the government has, the BJP has, when a decision to put out images of Dawood Ibrahim on Pakistani soil is taken at the highest levels. Is that a pressure building tactic?
As far as the stand of our government and BJP is concerned, we are categorically clear. Yes, we are there for an honest dialogue with Pakistan, but not at the cost of our national security, integrity and other related aspects. And also, in this aspect, in this particular event, whatever we have decided in UFA, we want to strictly adhere to that. There were 3 points decided, there were 3 levels of discussion decided, and in those level of discussions, NSA, that is National Security Advisor level discussions, can only be confined to terrorism or the national security aspect. So if anybody wants to bring anyone else, like the Hurriyats and other things, definitely they do not fall in the category of national security and terrorism.
But Sudhanshu Trivedi, are you prepared to concede that what happened yesterday and what happened this evening is a bit of a fiasco? Yesterday you arrested the Hurriyat leaders, 2 hours later you let them go. This evening you said that we are cancelling talks. PTI put out a story, the spokesperson told the PTI journalists and half a dozen others that talks were being cancelled. Minutes later the government is in panic mode saying no, we are not the ones cancelling the talks. Why is there so much confusion about what's going on?
Rahul, there is no confusion at all. Our stand is consistently clear from August 2014 to August 2015 that we do not want any third party to interfere in between. If there is anything, we want to share the facts and other things across the table with Pakistani authorities. If Hurriyat has to talk, they can talk to Jammu and Kashmir government. If at all it is required, under certain conducive atmosphere, they can even talk to Indian government. Now, there are certain concrete proof. There are certain facts which the government of India is having. We were ready to put in front of Pakistan. In my opinion, the Pakistani Prime Minister has committed something in UFA, but we know the complexities of Pakistani's internal establishment. So many things are there. There are three, you can say, totally independent aspects. One is their army, one is the fundamentalist forces, another is the government, and government has to take balance between these fundamentalist forces and army. That's why I think they have to maintain this strategy always. One step forward, 2 steps backward, then the situation becomes awkward.
General Athar Abbas, the big breaking story in Delhi tonight is that images of Dawood Ibrahim, latest evidence, pictorial evidence of Dawood's presence on Pakistani soil will be put out in the public domain tomorrow morning. Now, what impact do you think that will have on Pakistan just a day before the NSA arrives in India?
Look, I have no way to confirm or negate what you are saying because I haven't seen neither the story nor the detail. I only hope that this doesn't turn out to be a boat explosion which was exploded supposedly carrying Pakistani terrorists, and then one Commodore that you are court-martialing now, you have to take somebody to task. The point I want to make here is, if you leave your foreign policy to people like Ajit Doval to run foreign policy, you cannot have any kind of dialogue or a rational talk between the two neighboring states. Please let the politicians take over. Why Mr. Modi is shying away from taking over the whole thing? If you allow these people to run these kind of complicated, intricate problems like complex problem of Kashmir, and you want to remain in a state of denial and hand over these policy matters to spy masters, then I am afraid there will be no rational talk. There will be no space.
The UFA declaration clearly says that the talks between the NSAs will be about terrorism. At that time, this was discussed and decided between the two principals. Suddenly, Pakistan, it seems, wants to change the goalpost. There can be a separate dialogue about Kashmir, but that can happen between the foreign secretaries. Why derail what was decided at UFA?
Our viewpoint is that the whole source of terrorism is Indian-occupied Kashmir. Rest everything is a reaction to what is happening inside Kashmir. You want to remain in a state of denial what is happening inside Kashmir, how Armed Forces Special Power Act debate was scuttled by the government of India. They never allowed even Umar Abdullah's ministry to initiate that debate. And what is happening on LOC is all linked with what you are in a state of denial on Kashmir. So therefore, the whole source of terrorism, Pakistan wants to address that too. How can you exclude Kashmir from the dialogue between India and Pakistan when this is the main source of friction and a problem between the two countries?
General Abbas, before I end, do you expect Sartaj Aziz to land in Delhi on Sunday? What do you hope will emerge even if he does?
Of course, look, it is up to India to either jail, stop Hurriyat leaders from meeting. But you cannot stop Mr. Sartaj Aziz or an embassy to invite them to a reception. You want to cancel the talks, it is up to Indian government to cancel the talks. But not allowing Sartaj Aziz to invite Hurriyat leaders, it is not under the domain of Indian government.
No, but the Indian government is saying, General Abbas, that let him meet the Hurriyat leaders on Monday after he's met with Ajit Doval. Why meet with Hurriyat leaders before he's met with Ajit Doval to send the world the image that Hurriyat is somehow setting the agenda for the talks, or they are part of the agenda for the talks? Meet them afterwards.
Perhaps he wants to take an input about Kashmiri leaders' view on the talks. what is the ground reality is existing now in Kashmir. After all, we have to discuss Kashmir also. And Hurriyat leaders are representing a big fraction of Kashmiri
Sudhanshu
population.
Trivedi, before I end, are you prepared to accept that that artificial Lakshman Rekha that you drew, the new red line, seems to have boxed Prime Minister Modi in? Now you can't figure, because suddenly meeting Hurriyat has become such a big flashpoint, both in India and Pakistan. Earlier, Pakistani leaders would come, they'd meet with Hurriyat leaders and they'd go away, and that would never be a matter of controversy. This is a self-created controversy.
Rahul, the answer to your question is automatically emerging from what Mr. Attar Abbas has said. He said that the Kashmir is a very important issue to be discussed. Yes, of course it is a very important issue. But it is to be discussed at which level? I can give you an example. DGMO level talks are also defined. At DGMO level, you can only discuss the conflict at the border, not even the national security at large. So, Kashmir is a big political issue. How can you discuss with NSA level? NSA is not the political executive. The political issue can only be discussed with the political executive whenever you make a conducive atmosphere for foreign ministers to talk and other things. The irony from the Pakistani side is that whether it is the DGMO level talk or the NSA level talk or the PM level talk, always they try to create some complexity forced by their internal problems. That I would like to conclude with a sentence कि कभी खुद पे कभी हालात पे रोना आया और बात निकली तो हर एक बात पे रोना आया. इनकी हालात का जो मुकम्मल बयां है वो इसी एक शब्द में हो जाता है.
But Sudhanshu ji, अभी समझ ही में नहीं आ रहा कि रोना आ रहा है कि हंसना आ रहा है, because the world seems to be laughing at us. We arrest people, we let them go, we say we are cancelling talks, then we take that back. It seems to be a lot of confusion also within the Indian government, apart from all the underlying contradictions within Pakistan. General Attar Abbas, Sudhanshu Trivedi.
नहीं, सवेरे का आलम होने दीजिए, सवेरे तक.
Keep blowing the boards and then keep court-martialing your officers.
Okay, I'm going to leave it over there. I thought, General Abbas, you'd also have a share for our viewers, you know. Sudhanshu ji is ending on such a poetic note, but General Abbas...
Yes, I can also...
yes, go on, please. Yes, let's see what the General has. Go on.
Yes, I only want to, in the context of Kashmir, सितम सिखलाएगा रस्म वफा ऐसे नहीं होता, सनम दिखलाएंगे राहे खुदा ऐसे नहीं होता, जिनों सब हसरतें जो खू हुई हैं तन के मक्तल में, मेरे कातिल हिसाब खूं बहा ऐसे नहीं होता, हर एक शब्द हर घड़ी गुजरे क़यामत यूं तो होता है, मगर हर सुबह हो रोज़े जज़ा ऐसे नहीं होता, सितम सिखलाएगा रस्म वफा ऐसे नहीं होता.
वाह वाह, एटलीस्ट शायरी को लेके वाह वाह, डिप्लोमेसी को लेके सुधांशु जी पता नहीं, बट शायरी को लेके वाह वाह. Maybe we can just have a mushaira the next time, and that's something that hopefully shouldn't get derailed. Both India and Pakistan clearly very good at share or shairi. General Attar Abbas, Sudhanshu Trivedi, for joining us in the newsroom tonight. Thank you very much.